Hello, good evening everybody, and welcome to Angry Welshman Productions. I'm Reese of Angry Welshman Productions, and I'm really happy, just probably should explain before we get the live stream started. As some of you might have seen, I've had quite a lot of laptop trouble in the last month or two. The laptop I'm using, the Spitfire, it's about it's just under 10 years old now. And it suffered a hard drive failure, so it had to go back and it was a major software problem as well with the Windows install, so it had to have some pretty significant surgery. So a couple of new hard drives in there, but it seems to be working. Obviously, I've had to reinstall Windows, I've had to reinstall Train Simulator, I've had to reinstall all my live streaming stuff. In fact, that's the reason why this live stream is late starting. So what I'd like to do for the first couple of minutes before we get properly up and running is just, can everybody in the chat confirm that you can hear me? If I can just get a comment, just say yes or something that you can hear me, hear what I'm saying. I believe I've set everything up correctly. Apparently I sound like I'm in a wind tunnel at Mach 45 million. Okay, that's great. Probably the audio levels are quite high. I imagine they all need adjusting because it's all essentially everything, all my settings are back to factory settings, so I've probably got to reduce everything again. Let's just go to my microphone settings really quick. I'm going to turn my microphone down to about 50 and just let me know how that is, if that's any better. And I'm going to turn the game settings down to about 50 as well, because I have the feeling that the game volume is going to be quite loud for you guys. So what I'll do is I'll just load this scenario up for 2 minutes and we'll see what comments are coming in. So here we are on the Quarry Hunslet on the Bala Lake Railway. Now the game volume is pretty darn loud in my headset. Let's see what you guys think. There's the whistle going. But your main volume is now rather quiet. Jordan, when you say main volume, do you mean the game volume or my microphone? If I turn my microphone too far down. La 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 la. How is that? Does my microphone need to go up? Game volume is alright. Okay, that's good. I imagine I've probably turned my microphone down too far. So we are going to start off tonight by doing the first scenario that comes with the Bala Railway pack. Game volume's alright, I can hear everything fine. Reese Peter says I've been subscribed for 10 years. Goodness me. You sad loser, why have you subscribed to me for 10 years? I'm only joking. So we're going to start the scenario by running from the approach road from the shed, passing Maid Marian and Lady Madcap, to the first service train. Oh, we've had a couple of super chats already from Zach Yards. Okay, sorry I've missed those. Your volume isn't any louder than my 00 scale Gary and his whistle. Yes, I can hear you crystal clear. That's good, thank you very much. So I'm trying to look at the chat whilst buffering up to coaching stock. It's not going to go well, is it? The thing that surprised me when I started doing some testing of this pack is that on the Bala Lake Railway, all of the loco braking is done via the handbrake, which if you think about it makes complete sense because Quarry Hunslets aren't actually fitted with air brakes or vacuum brakes as standard. However, I will show you something neat in the cab. There is a little, you can't see it because the drain cox valve is right in front of it. There is a air brake dump valve, so you can either dump the air brakes completely from the cab, but the compressor would be stored within the coaches up ahead. Oh, we need to pick up our passengers. Out you get. So for those of you who are not familiar with the Bala Lake Railway, I've actually had something of a a bit of an awakening when it comes to this route, because I've never been to it, I've never seen it, didn't really know an awful lot about it. It was actually the lad who joined us in the last live stream who did teach us quite a few things. So firing these little quarry Hunslets generally has to be done while the loco is stopped, because it's very difficult, I imagine, to get your shovel right there where you're standing and chuck it in the fire whilst you're on the move, trying to balance yourself on this little footplate. Yep, volume on the microphone is a little bit quiet, so I'm just going to turn my microphone volume up. Sorry guys, I know this is a bit of messing around, but this is the first live stream we've done. I'll put that back to 75. There are microphone volumes back to 75, and we'll see how you guys feel about that. Speed to the west says, can you show us the cab and coach views? Okay, we'll have a look at those now. Just make sure I don't like completely smother the fire with coal. So this is the cab view of Alice, the little quarry Hunslet, and you've got a couple of cab view positions. Obviously it's a very, very small cab. There's the firebox inside there. And one of the things that I actually suggested during testing was to add these side views, so when you lean out over the side, which I'm really happy that Aaron took that on board, because as you can see, if you're standing here you can't see anything at the other end of your train. I mean, if you're going backwards it's no problem at all, but if you lean out, you want to be able to lean out, don't you, and see the other end, because if you're looking for the guard or watching your train, you need to be able to see the other end. So we'll stick it in reverse, and he wants to see the coach views. So this is the open coach inside, interior. Obviously it's an open coach, so it's pretty basic. Then you can lean out to the side there, which is quite nice when you're just trundling along behind the engine. And then go into one of the fancy bogie coaches they've got. I'm planning to take a trip to the Bala Lake Railway, because it just looks like a real laugh of a line. Like, you got this ski jump of a hill you go down from this first station of Llangower. I hope that's how you say it. Okay, so we're going to start. Brakes are off. Take the handbrake off. Coach rolling sounds could be better. Well, feel free guys to send it, feedback in to Slate Track Simulations. Over the next week or so he's going to be gathering all of the feedback that he receives from the release. Maybe he'll make some updates, some changes if needed. That is Charizard the dragon. I'm sure someone told me what the name of him was, but there we are. Apparently it's Llangower. Okay, Llangower. Alright, sorry. Apparently the Welshman has butchered his own language. Oh well, sorry about that. So we're just going to roll out past Bob, past the engine shed. That's Bob Davis, the diesel. There's Lady Madcap with Maid Marian and George B sitting in the shed. Great Western Production says 813 will be fit. Yes, I believe that 813 is planned to return to active service on the Severn Valley Railway at the gala. I'm planning to be there, and the only reason I'm going is because of 813. I'm not ashamed to admit that, and I will. It's a hill I'll die on, I'm afraid. Reese Peter says Charizard is a Pokemon. Yes, I'm well aware. I actually had. This is going to show how old I am. I had one of the original releases of the Charizard shiny Pokemon card from the very first edition of the cards that were released from like 1990 something. I actually opened up a pack of Pokemon cards. It was one of the first ones I ever had, but me being stupid ended up losing it in a Pokemon battle, and I never saw it again, and now they're worth hundreds of pounds. I think I've even seen some of them go, the first edition ones, for thousands. So I've really messed up there. So there we go, we're running out of the first station, heading towards the massive hill, which is called braking. Apparently, it's not actually called braking, but that's where you need to put your brakes on. So as I was saying, what I learned about this line is that you have to use your handbrakes for regular braking, and the air brake is actually just an emergency brake, and I suppose that's required for passenger carrying vehicles, because you can't just have handbrake only stock. You have to have some way of braking the coaches. Even though they're narrow gauge and they're custom built, they still have to be braked. Zaki Cards has donated $5. Thank you very much. It said if they're shadowless, they can go as high as $500,000. Oh, he's talking about the Pokemon cards there, I think. $500,000. Goodness me, I don't remember what kind of card it was. Oh, we've got a notice from the scenario. We are approaching the top of Dulfer Bank. This is the steepest section of the line with a 1 in 70 gradient. At the Bala Lake Railway, the braking is mostly done by the locomotive handbrake on the slash key. There is also an emergency air brake valve which applies the train brake. Feel free to try these out on the downhill section. So this is it, chaps. We're going down a ski jump. So this is Dulfer Bank. I wasn't aware. The thing is, I've never been to the Bala Lake Railway, so I'd have to get familiar with the names. So we're just going to chuck the handbrake on a bit, so we're not running away downhill crazily. Whistle board there for the unmanned level crossing, which I don't think is a level crossing. I think it's just a farmer's crossing. So I'll just show you now, while we're here, a couple of Alice's whistles. So you got the spacebar whistle, then the B whistle, and then there's a shift B whistle. Is it? Or control? Sorry, I think I've got that wrong. Some of the other locos have a shift B whistle, not Alice. Oh, let's take the brake off. So apologies for tonight. It was a very late organised live stream. Sam is not joining us tonight because he's too important, and he's at the greatest gathering in Derby, being a train spotter. Yeah. And also, it's just, I haven't done a solo live stream for quite a long time. I thought it'd be nice just to hear the sultry sounds of my own voice for a while. Reese Peter says, what gauge is the line? I believe that it's the same gauge as the Festiniog, which I think is like 1 foot and 11 something inches, so it's just under 2 foot, if that's correct. Which is pretty much the same as the Festiniog, the Welsh Highland, I guess, the Bala Lake Railway. Where else? Bala Lake Railway, we've said. Vale of Rydal, I guess, as well. Steamland says, I'm a Bala volunteer, lol. Got my next turn on the 13th of September and I should come along. It is a bit of a long drive for me to get to Bala, but I do know a few people who do volunteer there. So Steamlands, I know Peter, I know Jonathan, Terry, and I think they're loco crew. I have thought about doing something up in North Wales, but I don't know. I think the idea of volunteering again kind of fills me with a bit of dread. J Law says don't derail. 1 foot. Okay, 600mm gauge, 1 foot 11 inches and 5/8. Alright, if you want to be technical, 5/8 of an inch off, sorry. Northern Soul Express says, why did I stop volunteering? Well, it was actually a long time ago. It's actually I think it's basically been 15 years since I last volunteered. And it was just an awful lot of politics involved. And because I got my job working at sea, I spent an awful lot of time away abroad, away on ships. So I wasn't getting anywhere close to my minimum turns on the footplate or, cleaning turns. So there was a lot of resentment. And people started saying that I was expecting to turn up and get to go on the engine when I wasn't turning up to do anything else. Even though I said, well, where were you guys when the railway was virtually bankrupt and I was one of the only people here? We were taking the money that we raised throughout the day and literally driving to the petrol station to get diesel to put in the Class 108 DMU. I was there, they weren't, but oh well. anyway, that's enough politics for the evening. So that's a little halt that we've just passed through. Sorry guys, I don't want to hijack the live stream with my my petty woes from the past. Steamland says, I was on Duke with Terry, not volunteering but just coming up for the day. Yeah, I mean that is something that I would like to do. I'd like to come and visit. I'd like to make like a North Wales trip, because I've done a North Wales holiday with the family, but I'd like to do it, you know, go via Llangower halt. So we're not stopping here. This is a little halt. We're not going to stop here. I'd like to do a trip of North Wales where I sort of do a couple of lines in a couple of days. We are now passing Llangower halt. The halt is not used during normal running, but it does see use for Santa specials and Halloween specials. In fact, I tested one of the Santa special train scenarios, and we did actually stop there. Reese Peter said, I did do Festinio, Talathlin and Welsh Highland in a week about 20 years ago. Goodness me. I think doing all three railways in a week is quite, you know... Because I did the Welsh Highland, and it is a long, long line. It really is a long line. Like, we were behind... me and my wife went a few years ago, and we were behind one of the Garretts. I think it was it number 155 or 156? The green one. And it was just literally 2.5 hours from Porthmadog to Carnarvon. You had about 25 minutes turnaround in Carnarvon, and then you were back on the train to Porthmadog. So the only thing you could do while you were there was be on the train. There just wasn't time to get out, to stretch your legs, to go see the engine, to go and have a look around. And I appreciate, you know, on the day I went, there was only one train in each direction on the day. Maybe I should have gone on a day when there was more trains running and it would have been different. I could have actually stopped at Carnarvon, had a walk around for a bit, had something to eat, and then make my way back. That would have been nice. Ooh, speeding, sorry. This is the problem with live streaming, is you lose concentration on your things like your speed and you start speeding. Anyway. Polska Boy says, how come you don't need to answer if you don't want to? I've already answered that, I think. JB Video Gaming says, good evening, Reese. Train Freak says, I've done the Festiniog, Welsh Highland, Heritage Line, Welsh Highland and Llangollen in a week. Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of thing I would like to do. I don't know if I would do Festiniog and Welsh Highland because I've done them in the last sort of 10 years. So what I might do is just try and do like Talathlin, Corris, Snowdon, Llanberis. What's the other ones that I'm missing? The proceed if line clear sign allows you to continue into the Llangower platform as long as you can see the track ahead is clear. In scenarios you will not normally need to stop at one of these signs. I'm assuming I got to stop in the station anyway. So as you see, I'm using just the handbrake there, and you really do have to be quite on the ball with your braking, because it does. I mean, that, you know, the handbrakes are not particularly effective, which is, you know, to be expected. You've only got 4 little brake blocks on a tiny little loco, and you've got quite a bit of weight, especially with passengers. So there's Holy War. Hello, Holy War. And the dog. Hello, dog. Hello, doggy. He's a good doggy. Anyway, we're going to do some shoveling now while we're stopped. Welcome to Llangower. This is the passing point of the line. The signals here are currently not linked up to the frame, so the signal will flag you, or signal you with a flag. You've been given the green flag. There we go. Oh, let's turn the injector off. We'll stop our shoveling. And we'll get going. I don't know where she got that cup of coffee from. And it would help, of course, if I took the handbrake off. Generally, that does help. I don't know if there's any speed limits going into the loop here, but I sort of assume that 5 miles an hour is a good speed. Steamland says that's Max the dog. So this is one of the other engines, another Quarry Hunslet 040 named Holy War. But this is one with a cab. Oh, we got a notice. Normally, during special events, freight trains will only run this far, and sometimes we'll need to pass 2 passenger trains at once. This requires a complex shunt. Try this in the Penryn freight scenarios. Do you know what? Maybe we'll try that, because I've done a fair bit of filming the last couple of days, because I was hoping to get a good video out to you guys in advance of the release. The problem was I made a bit of a boo-boo when I was recording. Obviously, because I had to go back to factory settings with my laptop, I had to reinstall all my recorders, my codecs, my Sony Vegas Pro, everything that I use for making videos. I had to reinstall it, and all the footage that I filmed, I should have tested it after a few bits. I really should have tested it, but I recorded everything in AVI, and Sony Vegas does not like editing AVI videos. So essentially everything I recorded was virtually unusable. So if you remember the video that I uploaded last night, every video clip had to be converted to an MP4. So it was kind of usable in that circumstance, but you could probably tell that the video is quite compressed, so the quality is reduced compared to what it would normally be. Speaking of quality, how is the quality of the stream for everybody? How is it doing? Let's have some chuff. Come on, Alice. And I do have my Xbox controller plugged in, so we can do a bit of drone footage with the Xbox controller. Funny, Xbox controller, because I was the Xbox controller in Tintin's videos. Whee! Hello, Alice. And if nothing else, if you want to buy these Quarry Hunslets, or if you want to buy the Bala Railway pack just for the Quarry Hunslets, honestly I recommend doing so, because even without the route, the locos are absolutely fantastic. They are so fun to play with, and they're very well detailed. I mean, look, if you zoom in, all the internal motion is modelled. I'm trying to get the camera right in there. Look at that. Whoa, look at that. Stream is good according to Polska Boy. Thank you very much. Stream quality is fine. 720. Oh, Steamland says 720. And he says 5 miles an hour over the loop at the last carriage clear until the last carriage clears the Bala endpoints. Okay, 5 miles an hour. Christopher Flynn says the Festiniog and Welsh Highland are now way too expensive. A return on Festiniog is 50 quid and the Welsh Highland is 70 quid. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of to be expected in today's environment, I guess, because everything is expensive, not just heritage railways. Yeah, it's kind of a sensitive topic, I know. Unfortunately, railways have got to make money. They got overheads, they got staff to pay, they've got coal to buy, that sort of thing. And I guess in a way you've got to think a lot of heritage railways have just got to try and survive the next 10 years, because not every heritage line has the happiness of being the likes of the Severn Valley or the North Yorkshire Moors or Welsh Highland or Festiniog. They're smaller lines run purely by volunteers who do genuinely survive year to year in some cases. JB Video Gaming is saying, I'm just about to purchase the route myself. Definitely, guys. This is it's a pack that I can thoroughly recommend. Is it 15 quid or £15.99 from SP Railways, Steve Pontin Railways, which is home to a load of narrow gauge train sim stuff. I tell you, let's go sit in one of the carriages and have a look out the window. I love these like bogie type carriages. They're just hilarious. They actually look like narrow gauge Mark 1s. And there's the Bala Lake. Something which you can do, which is a little bit of a hack, is I find like once you're up to sort of running speed, you kind of just have to keep opening and closing the regulator. If you wind on the handbrake, then you can open the reg and you can actually hear it chuffing at a sensible speed. Obviously, you wouldn't want to do this in real life because you'll just completely destroy your brake blocks and you might even get wheel flats or something. Christopher Flynn says it's far more expensive than most other lines of similar length, so I don't buy the whole it's expensive thing. I mean, I get your point. But I don't know how many active volunteers are running and how many full-time staff they have compared to others. You know, because Boston Lodge is manned by a full team of, engineers. I know they do contract work and other jobs. Reese Peter says, I was walking along my local heritage line at 1 o'clock this morning. Path by the side, not on the track. Well, that's good to hear. JB Video says, I think even lines like the Severn Valley Railway are struggling financially. Yeah, I think you're right. That's what I mean is... a lot of lines are struggling right now. Speeding to the West says, I would have bought the route, but I already spent the last of my money on the Armstrong Powerhouse Class 50. Well, I'll have to forgive you for that one because the Class 50 is quite a nice pack. Christopher Flynn says, I do think they have a lot of paid staff, but it is still expensive. It is. It's £70 It is a hefty fee, isn't it? And just imagine if you were like me, taking a family with 2 adults and 2 children. Chris, if you got a moment, Christopher, go on the Welsh Highland Railway website for me and just see how expensive would it be for me to do a round trip of the Welsh Highland Railway as a family ticket. 2 adults, 2 children, starting at Porthmadog, going all the way to Carnarvon and then back. And you can do like off-peak train or just like a regular running day, not on a gala, whatever it is. I'm quite interested to see how expensive a family ticket would be. So now we are 1 mile from Bala Pennybont Station. Oliver Trainwalker says, sorry I'm late. Well, it's okay, better late than never. Welcome to the stream. Train Freak says it's very cheap for children to go on the Welsh. It's very cheap for children to go on the Welsh Highland Railway. Okay. I'm interested to see what the price is. Tommy Stafford says hello. Hello to Tommy Stafford. Did I say Tommy Stafford? Sorry, Tommy Stafford. Mean Valley is struggling, says Reese Peter. Yeah, a lot of heritage lines are. They're making real tough choices right now, which will have effects. In 5-10 years from now, it could really have profound effects. I think we're not far away from the end now, and that'll be the end of the scenario, and we'll load up one of the others. Jack says £157 for the Welsh Highland Railway. Goodness me. So, one round trip with a family ticket, £157. That... it's a difficult one, because if I was doing a trip with my family, two adults, 2 children, and the Welsh Highland Railway was the only destination, I would probably turn around and say that's way too expensive for a day out. But if I was on holiday, like I went up to Rhyl not long ago on a family holiday, and I probably would do it if I was staying for like 4 or 5 nights as a family holiday, I probably would do it. But that £157, that is expensive. Speeding to the West says, how much is it for the Festiniog Railway? I imagine Festiniog is slightly cheaper The UK's Heritage Railway probably have it worse compared to us in Europe, as we have easier access to coal compared to you on the island. Oh, I don't know, mind. Polska boy, I'm going to assume you're from Poland. I am making a bit of an assumption there, mate. I'm just assuming from your username there. I believe Poland still has working coal mines, but Western Europe, I believe, I remember seeing on a website, there are only 3 working mines left in Western Europe. Not in like, you know, I don't know if that stat is true, but it's like west of sort of Berlin. If you drew a line of longitude all the way through Europe, there are only 3 working coal mines left that west of that line, which is just mad. I mean, I know there's different grades of coal and all that, different uses. I'm pretty sure like 1 or 2 of them is in Wales, which is bizarre. Pilot Truck says, curious about this one because it's not a humongous route. Small engines are fun in this game. That being said, I rarely play Train Sim Classic. Railroader has my full attention. Well, I've not tried Railroader. No, sorry. What's the other one? There's Railroader. And then there was another one which they made. I haven't actually tried the newer one. And then there's Century of Steam, which is still in development, and I can tell you now when that comes out, I think me and Sam will be playing quite a lot of that. Christopher Flynn says Festiniog is 50. Is that for that's £50 for an adult round trip? Is it? That's not £50 for a family ticket, is it? Steamland says we have to keep the reg open just a little bit to keep it going. Yeah, I am finding I'm opening and closing the reg all the time. Pilot Truck says he's looking very much forward to the Century of Steam. I can't wait for that. From what I've seen of it, it does look like it's going to be a brilliant game. Polska Boy says Germany is opening one. Oh, we're just going to stop the injector, and we are approaching Bala. Is it Pennybont? Yes, Bala Pennybont. Germany is opening one and ours are closing by 2040. We don't have to get it transported overseas. You can get coal pretty easily over here. Oh, I think I have to be less than 5 miles an hour entering the platform. You didn't see that, guys? Christopher Flynn says £50 for an adult round trip. Well, that is a lot different. No, it's not. I'm talking rubbish. That's just for an adult. And here we are at the current terminus of the Bala Lake Railway. So if you're interested, guys, just since we're on the topic here, there's a very interesting video on YouTube. If you just search Bala Lake Railway, it's one of the first videos that come up. We just dump the brakes there because I'm pretty sure I've got to stop in a certain place here, otherwise the scenario doesn't like it. Oh no, I should be alright. This is the current terminus of the line, but I was watching this video. If you just search Bala Lake Railway, and they've got, oh, welcome to Bala Pennybont station, the end of the line. The locomotive will detach and stop in the loop and prepare for the return journey, uncouple and move past the points. Yeah, I'll do that in just a moment. I'm just going to explain a bit about their extension plans. I think the lad who joined us last time did explain a little bit, but I just want to go over it again because this video where they showed the plans, it actually looks really quite significant. It's like £5 million investment. So they're going to, on the apex of this turn, they're going to break off. And they're going to, I'm assuming, demolish this platform. And they're going to bring the line through this field, over this bridge, and then they're going to head over here into Bala Town. It's not modelled, but essentially there's like, you're following the flood defences along the front of the lake side here, and then there's a big site here where there's going to be a station. And it looks like, you know, once they do that extension, they're actually going to be running into a town properly. So it's going to be a pretty substantial extension, and hopefully they'll build some facilities So like a restaurant or cafe, that sort of thing. Apologies if the stream just went a little bit funny then. Hopefully it didn't go too bad. Christopher Flynn says Talathlin Railway is £25 for a day roll. Oh, that's pretty good. Oliver Train Walker says, if you want a good railway to visit, South Devon Railway and the Dartmouth. I guess that's Pinkerton Dartmouth Railway. It's a bit far for me, but I'd recommend it to you. I mean, it's not too far. It's only 2.5 hours from my house. So it's, you know, for a day trip, it's definitely doable. So we're going to finish the scenario by running into the loop and then into the run round loop. There's another Dougie. Move into the loop to the end the instruction. There we go. And essentially that is like the first scenario that you play, which is basically a welcome to Bala, or welcome to the Bala Lake Railway thing. What is the vehicle in the siding? Oh, I think it's just like a little van. I'm assuming that's like a... I'm sure that point switched. I'm sure I switched that point. You'll have to watch the replay, guys, because I'm sure I switched that point. I guess I didn't. Steamland says it is a van for selling tickets. Yeah, I thought it would be. There we go. And that is it, chaps. The Bala Lake Railway. Just took a screenshot there. Yeah, we're on the marker. Oh, there we go. That's it. That's the end of the scenario. Scenario incomplete. Bad luck. You did not complete the scenario successfully. I think there is a thing to do with the signal that causes that scenario thing to happen. Right. Anyway. Right, we're back in the menu. Let's go back to the standard scenarios. And there's a bunch of I hate that Train Sim does this every time, because it never does install these workshop items, it just says it is. So we got a whole list of scenarios to try. That was the route introduction with Alice. Why don't one of you guys choose one? See what you want to do. Do you want to do the coal delivery? We drive a diesel, because we've already driven a steamer, so why do we do either a diesel works train or the coal delivery? Do you know what? I'm going to decide for you. We're going to do the coal delivery one. Because Lady Madcap is a little bit of a mad lad of a diesel to drive. Tommy Stafford says, I want to see if the 2-train timetable works for you. We might try that after. We got plenty of time this evening. Woo! Good morning, driver. Today we are receiving a special delivery of coal to top up our supplies for next year. Your job is to assemble the coal wagons with Ruston Lady Madcap before filling them and shunting them to the coal siding. First, reverse into the carriage shed before heading to Llangower Loop. Alright, so it's time to drive a diesel. So as you can see, this is a bit of a lunatic of a diesel to drive. I think it's essentially it's like driving a lawnmower. So there's no brakes. Is this a brake? Oh yeah, this is like a handbrake handle, so that's all you get. First gear. Oh gosh. And we're off. So this is just like this hilarious little thing to drive. Really well modelled, like got a working fan in the front. Second gear, let's kick it up a touch. Put it in neutral. And it's going to come to a stop now, isn't it? Just before, right? Let's put it in gear. Stop. Is that enough? 1 foot away. I'm assuming I've got to change the points myself anyway. Oh, I got to go another foot? Take the brake off, that would help. Oh, crash. Okay. So, where are we going after there? Go via yard exit. Okay. We'll put it in forwards direction now. There's no whistle on this little diesel, so... Here we go. Okay, so I do have to do the points myself. Okay. I'm learning as well, guys. I'm learning. What I'm learning is this diesel is quite difficult to drive. What can I say? I'm a steam buff. There we go, I've done it right now. Forward gear. Take the brake off and first gear. Let's give it a go. Yard exit and stop at Llangower Loop. Second gear. Diddly-dee-dee-dee. Oh, look, there's a truck there and everything. So we got to go and get all these wagons and bring them into the platform, I guess. Because we're taking delivery of coal. Haha. So I think I might have got the wrong end of the stick there. I think I need the wagons that are back there. Heads into the downsiding and shunts the Cato flat wagon to the main line out the way. Oh, okay. We can do that, can't we, chaps? Great Western Production says, does the diesel also shout honk honk? It's a nippy little thing, this. You really do have to think about this diesel and how to drive it quite a lot. Have we coupled it? Doink. There we are. Right, now we've got to stop at Llangower Loop, so we got to go back that way, I think. Come on, chaps. Apparently, Reese needs to shout beep passing every whistleboard from now. It's the law, apparently, okay? The proportion of the tool van to diesel is wonderful. It's quite a big tool van, isn't it? So just waiting for the next instruction. Okay, stop at Llangower signal. Okay, so we got to drop, set it back. Set it back onto the main line, I guess. Reese Peter says, I think my favourite videos were the Angry Welsh Skype call on the Welsh Highland Line Comedy Gold. That takes me back. Was that the one where I was driving a Class 37 and the radio started talking to me? And then I nearly drove it off the end of a swing bridge. Hey, GBH train is here. Hello, Gabe. Oh, I've gone too far. Crap. Stop. Why aren't you stopping? I feel I just took it a little... I don't think it should matter too much, but I think I'll just take it forward a little bit because I've gone a bit too far. And then I need to uncouple. Badushi. Okay, so next instruction is to go back all the way up the top, I think. We can do that. Take the brake off. It's a shame this little diesel doesn't have any horn or whistle. Because I just feel like it would be like a... Tommy Stafford says, hey, we have the developer in the chat. Slate Track Simulations, hello Aaron, good evening. Hope you're okay. Congratulations on getting your first product out, well done. I think all of us are really pleased to see that it's been released. I hope sales have been good today. And I hope there's not too many issues that have been identified. And I'd say, like I said to you in private chat, just spend the next few days, enjoy the moment, absorb it all coming in, make some notes, you know, things to change or changes to make if possible. Because other people might have some good ideas as well. Oh, we got to stop at Llangower West Head Shunt. Alrighty. I'm assuming we got to go all the way up and then collect these 2 wagons. Oh goodness, that's what a good point. I wonder if I've got to do these wagons one at a time. Well, that point was just set against me. I just had to change it because I'm sure that would have ended the scenario if I hit it. Do you know what? Given the length of this head shunt, I don't think I'm going to be able to do the 2 wagons together. I think I'm going to have to do them one at a time. Although I'm sure you guys will correct me. Couple carriage 0 to the back. Couple of coal wagon in the coal siding. Okay. This thing is quite awkward to drive because you got to keep remembering to put it in gear and take the brake off and everything. It's one of those little diesels. I just imagine it's probably easier to drive it in real life than it is to drive it on train sim. Because you've got to remember where everything is. Where in real life you're sat on top of it and the controls are in your hands. And looking at it, you're basically sitting on top of the gearbox transmission there. Oh, the wagon is rolling. Oh dear, the wagon has rolled through another wagon. Oh dear, oh dear. No, no, stop! Oh god. Couple up. Oh, I've messed up here big time. Come back. Oh dear. We got some correception going on. Not entirely sure what's... Right, couple up. There we go. I'm assuming that that's a static model of a wagon. And that's why we've just correceptioned through it. Not sure why it rolled away. Yeah. There we go. Second wagon is a scenery object for filling with coal, so yes, that's why we've correceptioned through it. Okay. Now head back down to the downsiding where you collect the second coal wagon. Michael96 says, I haven't seen a new upload from you in ages. No, I've had an awful lot of problems with my laptop the last few months, hence why streaming and everything really just hasn't been a thing, and making videos has been very difficult as well, given the problems I've had. But I was explaining to everybody at the beginning... Stop! At the beginning of the live stream that I've done some quite expensive repairs to the laptop, new hard drives, that sort of thing. So with a bit of luck the issue is resolved, at least for a while, until I do get a new computer, and I am saving up again. Unfortunately I did have some quite significant expenses this year to do with my car and a few other things, which kind of took precedence over saving for a computer. But it is going again. Hey, if anyone wants to donate, I'd be happy to receive some donations. Oh, I just thought, I don't know what the speed limit is by here, so I am slightly speeding. 5 miles an hour, you didn't see that. We're off to get the second coal wagon. Oh look, Mr. Davis and his wife have come to visit the Bala Lake Railway. I wonder if I'd be able to feature the Bala Lake Railway in Over the Hills. I have a feeling though, because it was set in the late 60s, that it's probably too early in history for the Bala Lake Railway. Steamlance might know, when was the Bala Lake Railway actually set up and preserved? Because I think it was like the mid-70s, wasn't it? Or early 70s. New Over the Hills content. I am working on it, guys, still. It's a real slow burn in the background, I'm afraid. Oh, first patch is already in development. Look at that, it's not even been out for 6 hours and there's a first patch already. But don't worry about that, Aaron. That is quite normal for train sim releases. So there's nothing wrong there. Right, so we got to try and couple up now without smashing into this wagon. Oh, did I do it? Have I done it? I don't think I have. Oh dear. No, I haven't. Right, let's try again. Oh, this is quite difficult because of the amount of slack in the couplings. Couple carriage 0 to the back of Madcap at carriage 0. Which one is carriage 0? Am I doing the right thing here? Yeah, I am. I'm assuming I just got to be a bit closer without knocking it flying. Ah, okay, there we go. Got it that time. Little bit of train sim buggeration going on there. But we got it. We got 2 wagons now. And we got to head back up the line because I assume we just got to run back into the station so we can go fill them with coal. Reese Peter says might have to use the Fisher Price toolbar. Yeah, unfortunately I did. But I think that's train sim. Chris Flynn says Bala Lake would have been a standard gauge line back then. 1972 was when the Heritage line was started. Okay. When did BR close the standard gauge line? Well, I think that was like the late 60s, wasn't it? Great Western Production says he missed the start of the stream. Was there no Sam tonight? No, Sam is messing around at the Greatest Gathering in Derby because he's too cool to be in an AWP live stream. He's got to go and mess around with real trains, and I think he's doing something with the Bahamas local group in at the Greatest Gathering anyway. So we just got to wait here for a moment. Model Rail Dan says because shenanigans are fun. Yes, they are. Steamland says because Lady Madcap has a constant mesh gearbox, you set the throttle off, take off the handbrake and gently take it into first gear. Right, okay, we got to go backwards now. Just going to save the game because I got a gut feeling that my laptop might be about to do something interesting. So, Aaron, if you're still watching the live stream, just a question for you, since you're here. Now that the Bala Lake Railway has released, what's your thoughts about doing another piece of DLC for Train Sim? What's the plans for the future, do you think? Are you going to enhance this route a bit more, a new version, maybe the extended version when you know what it's going to look like? Some new locomotives, maybe a new route altogether. What's the plan? Or have you just had an absolute guts full of developing for Train Simulator, you're going to give it up? Which I wouldn't blame you either. Speeding to west says most likely with 104.5 as 45596 isn't there. It is. Bahamas is there. I believe both Bahamas and the coal tank are there. Steamland says, if I'm allowed back into the AWP server, I wouldn't mind sharing some info on the photos of Bala itself. Well, I don't know why you're not allowed back in, because I have checked. You're not blocked. There's no issue with you coming back. I'm not entirely... We've had this conversation before. Don't really know why you're having issues. Reese Peter says he's glad he didn't go to the Greatest Gathering, there's too many people. Yeah, I've been told there's like 12,000 people a day expected, which is quite a lot. A few months ago I did the Flying Scotsman at the Didcot Railway Centre event. Goodness me, that was busy, and I don't think that was anywhere close to 12,000, but it was plenty of people there. Right, so we've got to pick up coal now in the platform. So this is going to be interesting. No. This is going to be interesting. We've got to stop in the right place with a diesel that doesn't want to cooperate with me. The world's most cooperative diesel. I think that's about right. So we'll press the T key now. T. And I'm assuming nothing's happening because the wagon is still rolling, so we'll... T. Pick up freight. Have I got to do a thingy-mabob again, I guess? It is the T key, isn't it? You got to press to load coal, isn't it? I'm assuming I'm not quite sitting on the loading point. So we just pulled forward a little bit. Oh, wool. Okay, buff. Magic coal. That was... okay. I guess we just weren't sat on the loading point properly, so we'll pull forward now. You can tell the wagon is a lot heavier now. There we go, okay. Good job. Now take both wagons back to the coal siding ready for use. You will need to shunt them into the siding one by one due to the head shunt length. Leave one at the water tower while you shunt the other. That's what I thought was going to happen. Great Western Production says insert angry Greta Thunberg noises. Yeah. Slate track simulation. It shouldn't be such a quick loading animation there. Might be one to look into. Oh, there you are. I'm not entirely sure what happened, but I believe it was something to do with the location of the loading point on the track. Probably I didn't have it in quite the right position there. Christopher Flynn says he volunteered at Didcot when Scotsman was there. It was chaos, the amount of stories he has. It was there for like 2 weeks, wasn't it? So I went to Didcot on a weekday, and it was manic. It was absolutely rammed. Don't get me wrong, it was an absolutely fantastic day, and my eldest son, Gethin, he's really into steam trains right now. Like, he's really loving them. More so than I used to when I was a kid, so I'm really, loving that. And he loved it. He had a fantastic day. Got some fantastic photographs of him with Flying Scotsman and Pendennis Castle. Had a sad story on the way home though. One of my tyres blew out, and we ended up having an emergency overnight in a hotel because we couldn't get a tyre company to come and fix it for us. So it was an interesting day or two. Right, so we got to mess around now because of the length of this head shunt. So I got to leave a wagon next to the water tower. Oh, take it out of gear. Handbrake on. Do these wagons have handbrakes? No. Yes. Right. Okay, it's rolling away even though the handbrake is on. Please don't go away. Please don't roll away. Let's put the wagon into the siding then. It's much better than that creepy water tower that moves when filling up locos. Do you know, it does surprise me that in all the years of Train Sim Classic that there hasn't been any development of like better animations for loading coal or loading water or taking on water from a water tower, that sort of thing. It does strike me as something that should have been done better by now, really. Switch the point. No, change direction. First gear. Take the brake off. Okay, drop carrier 0 off at Llangower coal siding. Oh, I just get the feeling that that wagon is close to derailing on that sharp corner there. Yes, we got to use it. Go really slowly. Speaking of narrow gauge, my brand new Bachmann Tallyllyn arrived today, and I had it out on the track for the first time. Really pleased with it, but the only problem is it's one of the carriages. I got the Tallyllyn carriages as well. Unfortunately, one of them just keeps derailing, and I'm not sure why, which is a real shame. So what I'm going to do is kind of stop with this wagon like merged with this static one here. So we'll stick the handbrake on and uncouple, and of course it starts rolling away, so we're going to have to finish the scenario before it rolls off down the hill or rolls off the end of the track. There you go. Aaron, if you're still watching, maybe the handbrake's on the wagons, but I have a feeling that this is a train sim issue rather than a loco or wagon specific issue. Stopping in the head shunt, changing direction, brake off, first gear. Reese Peter is off to cook his pizza for his breakfast. He'll be back in a few minutes. Breakfast. Northern Soul Express says, do you plan to make some model train content in the future? I don't know really. I kind of feel like I've been there and done that all those years ago. And I haven't had a proper layout since either. I've got a couple of like small layouts set up. One is just like a general. For those local to my area, you might know the layout actually, because it was a model railway that was sat in the front window of Abergavenny Model Shop for many years. So you might very well have seen it if you're from South Wales in particular. Unfortunately, over the years it has deteriorated and it's not in particularly great condition anymore. But it's like just two loops. It's like a general sort of Hornby two-loop train set, really. And it's just a little something for my children to play with when we're messing around with model trains. Northern Solar Express says, is that the layout that was used in Gary the Steam Engine? No. Unfortunately, that layout was dismantled and destroyed. So it's long gone, and I no longer live at the house where that was filmed. It was my parents' house, and they still live there, but I've bought my own house in the years since. But who knows, maybe in the future, because I am planning to buy my parents out at some point, so that we keep the houses in the family. So I may end up back up there, and who knows, that space could be used for model trains again in the future. That's certainly a long-term plan, but that's going to mean that I need to spend an awful lot of money. So we'll see how that goes. So now we're going to put the second coal wagon in the siding. Reese Pierce says I'm working all night, so that's breakfast. Oh, I feel sympathy for you. So you're getting up now for breakfast. I'm going to do a night shift. Steamman says, what does he say? Will you be visiting any Garden Railway shows? I hope so. I would like to get back into Garden Railways in the future. Garden Railways have kind of taken a bit of a back seat for me for the last few years, because I just haven't had space for any Garden Railway stuff, or even to get any out. I'm assuming I had to drop this wagon off. Oh gosh, no. I think I've messed up. I think I was supposed to take... Oh no, it did. The instructions did say to drop both wagons off here. So I am right. Sorry, I got confused then. Handbrake. Let's uncouple. Okay. Steamland says he generally runs the modular layouts. Yeah. The next show is at Llanfair Corinion. Yeah, I mean, I would like to go to that Garden Railway show again. I've not been for a long time. It would be quite nice to go. The problem I have with Garden Railway shows, right, is that whenever I go, I generally end up spending a lot of money. And it's money I can't really justify spending. Right, so we gotta go pick up those wagons now and shunt them back into the siding where they were. Let's go get these wagons. Dee 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 dee. Let me know what you think of the pack, guys. The Bala Lake Railway and Quarry Hunslets and little diesels. Let me know what you think of it. a minute. I've messed up here, haven't I? Why have I got to stop there? I feel like I've messed up somewhere. Oh, I don't know. Definitely feel like I've messed this up somewhere. Okay, I didn't set those points, they were done automatically, so I'm assuming some points are going to get switched. Yeah, they have. They've been switched for me now. Right, we've got to go get those wagons. That's what we've got to do. Dakota Curtis says, are you planning to work on Season 2 of Over the Hills? Well, considering there hasn't been a Season 1 yet, I might not be able to work on Season 2. But I am going to start working on it. Now that my laptop is... Right, okay, I don't have the wagons. That point wasn't supposed to be switched, so there's some shenanigans going on here. Right, point switched now. No, switched again. Okay, I'm trying to get... I tell you what, let's just go to that place because the scenario is not going to let me do it. Reese is confused by shunting. Yeah, I am confused by this right now because I think I've made a mistake somewhere. And I've upset the way the scenario works. And because it's a scenario, the points won't let me just go back and get the wagons. So something has gone wrong with the with this. Okay, we'll just let that loading thing happen. I'm pretty sure I have made a mistake here somewhere. Christopher Flynn says it's time to just jack it in and have a cup of tea. I think you might be right, to be honest. It might be time just to load up another scenario. Drop off. Yeah, see, it's telling me to drop off, so I think I've messed up somewhere. And I think the wagon is... Oh, it stopped right at the edge. Okay. They've stopped moving. That's good. So at least the scenario isn't going to just end. But I've messed it up somehow, so I think we'll just call it a day with this one. Dakota Curtis says, are you going to need new voices for Over the Hills? The answer is yes, but when I'm ready. I'll let everybody know when I'm ready. Right, guys. So that was the Diesel... Lady Madcap. What would you guys like to see next? Do you want to finish the... Do you want to finish off with a steamer? We could do the 2-train timetable run with Holy War. Yeah, Flying Scotsman Production says steamy. Christopher Flynn wants the Santa specials. We could do the Santa specials, but I think there is like... Is there 3 parts to it? No, there's 2 parts. What do you guys want? Do you want the 2-train timetable or do you want the Santa special? I wonder if there's a way to do a vote. I think there is. Oh, I don't know how to do it though. There used to be engage with your audience, start a Q&A, start a poll. There we go. I can do a poll in the chat. Hang on, guys. So let's do Santa specials or 2-train timetable. Right, there we go. I've just started a poll in the chat, guys. So head to the chat and you can we'll leave it for 2 minutes to decide what's going to be the next scenario we run. So the voting is going in. Let's see. Christopher Flynn says it's almost Christmas. It's not far off. I mean, it's only, what, 6 months away? 5 months away? See, now, if my wife was in the other room, because normally when I do these live streams, she's just sat in the other room watching TV or something. But if I said something like that, she'd be screaming across the room at me, going, it's like 46 days and 6 hours exactly or something. Because she's a Christmasaholic. Maybe the Santa specials would be ideal around Christmas time. Well, I'm not waiting to Christmas to do another live streams. We're here now. Steamland says, I'm still waiting to see Irish routes and locomotives for Train Sim Classic. Model Rail Dan says, Sausage Express mention in this economy. Let's see how the poll is doing. Alright, well the Santa Specials is winning. I think I'm going to end the poll. It looks like we're going to do the Santa Specials. Oh, what? Right when I closed the poll, it was a tie. Are you joking me? Come on. Come on, guys. Oh, God, come on. Trying to vote on what scenario to run next, and you guys go and have a draw. Right, we're doing the Santa Specials. Santa Special Part 1. Northern Soul Express says, don't blame me, I voted for sausage. That makes you even worse. You didn't even vote for a valid option. Right then, good morning driver, welcome to a snowy Llangower. Despite the weather, Alice has been chosen as the second engine for the Santa Specials today. Wait at the end of the yard exit for Bob to head down to the grotto with the equipment and the elves. So Bob is going to head down the line with the Santa Special equipment and the elves and stuff. So we're just going to head to the yard exit and we're going to wait there for the order to move. Snow in August. Yeah, it's snowy. It's Wales, mate. Get used to it. And I think for this run we're going to do something special. Oh, hang on, wrong button. Control 9, we're going to have Welsh flags. Or should we have a star? I think we need Welsh flags, don't we? Okay, we clear the points. There goes the diesel. Magically making his way down the line. Oh god, he's going quick. There's nobody in that wagon propelling him. Wee, Bob Davis. I'm pretty sure I got a model of that now. A little Bagley diesel. So now we need to head up to the station. Am I not clear of that point? Do you know what? I think I might not be clear of the point, you know. Yeah, okay, I was blocking the point. Taking the brake off. There we go. So we need the tip from the guard. No. I thought I had to ask the signalman for permission to enter, but apparently not. Steamland says it's a shame you can't have the faces on. Oh, I'm pretty sure I've got to fill up on coal, haven't I? Yeah. We got to pick up coal from the coal wagons that we just refilled. We got to take on coal before we head down the line. There's Holy War. Hello, Holy War. Handbrake on. We'll stop there and we press the T key and we've taken on coal. Now obviously being a little engine and in Train Simulator it doesn't take long for it to fully do it. So that's it, we're pretty much done. I imagine these little locos you probably have like 2 or 3 buckets and your bunker is full. Train Freak says Holy War is one of the best Megadeth songs. God, I will agree with you on that. So it is a cracking song, isn't it? Oh, it would help if my reverser was in the right direction. Oh, it's a Bagley Drury. Bob Davis is a Bagley, so that does mean the little model that I have, the Bachman Bagley, is the correct one. So I actually have a model of Bob. So we just gotta wait here for a moment for the scenario to catch up, as you see the loading bars there. You will need to press Control and Tab to get permission from the signalman to pass the signal at danger. Approved! Let's go! Power! Quarry Hunslet. Oh, mate. Doink. Little bit of correception going on there. But we are indeed coupled up. Handbrake on. Forwards direction. We'll just put a little bit of water in the boiler. Shovel a bit of shum coal. And press the T key while we wait for everybody to get on board, because we got 3 minutes until we're leaving. So I've got 3 minutes to look at the chat. I tell you, I won't shovel any coal because we'll just sit here blowing off then. Boiler's full. Right. What do you guys think of the Quarry Hunslet then? I really love these little engines. They're so fun to drive. They're just neat. You know, compared to a lot of the stuff that's been released lately, they're just really neat to play with. And I believe that Aaron's going to do different versions in the future, so we're going to get like another pack. And they're going to be different. I'm not sure which ones. He hasn't told me which ones he's going to do. I think the thing I love about this little line is actually like these locos are not passenger locomotives in any measure. So no part, you know, these engines were designed for shunting slate trucks in a quarry with very badly laid track. So things like air brakes and, you know, crew comfort and things, it just wasn't really thought that it was important. Oh, so we got another minute until we're leaving. Very based. Can't wait to get them in game, especially Winifred. It'd be really nice to see some of the other Quarry Hunslets made. In fact, one of the things I have suggested to Aaron to do is to make a base pack for the Quarry Hunslet. So basically just a very basic model, you know, and then if any of you were into reskinning and you worked with the Mesh Tools Austerity tank, you'll know you have like a base pack, which is just the core loco, and then all sorts of things like all these brass fittings, whistles, handrails, domes, chimney types, you know, all these different features are sort of chop and changeable, so you could sort of, you know, make your own version. And then things like nameplates, that would be really cool to do. Right away from the guard. Let's go. Take the handbrake off. Power. I forgot to shovel some coal. And because it's a cold winter's day, I'm leaving the cylinder drains open a little bit to let any condensate out. We'll stop shoveling now because it's mostly downhill, so we're not going to need loads of steam. Right, we're now in the 15 mile an hour zone. Limit of the shunt. Let's get going. So now we're seeing the beautiful and elegant Bala Lake in the wintertime. Inject a bit of water before we hit the gradient. So now we're hitting the Golfer bank. I'm going to shut off the reg, whack the handbrake on a bit. Whistle board. I do imagine though, like on a cold winter's day, I'd have the firebox door open just to keep my legs warm if I was out on the footplate here. Reese Peter has returned with pizza, and I hope you've brought enough for everybody. And also, I am going to be judging you, but what kind of pizza is it? And if anybody turns around and says what I think they're going to say, which is that pineapple on pizza is not allowed, you can get out of my live stream. I am very pro pineapple on pizza. It's a hill I will die on. Northern Soul says, where's my slice? I tell you, if you want a life hack, here's a cheap life hack for you. Get a piece of bread, toast it slightly, not too much. Get a slice of pineapple, some tomato puree and some grated cheese. Put the slice of pineapple on the bread, or with tomato puree smothered all over the bread first, and then grated cheese all over, a little bit of mixed herbs or something on the top, a little drizzle, tiny drizzle of olive oil, and then, or even balsamic glaze if you're really feeling adventurous, and then whack it in the air fryer for a few minutes, and it's Hawaiian toast for you, my friend. Really cheap little hack for you. Reese Peter says if you have to go to Peterborough for his pizza. Drizzle is such a lovely word. Alarm Kid says he'd like to see Bressingham Steam Museum in game. Roddle Railway Dan says group meet in Peterborough right now. Yeah, pizza invasion, lads. This is happening. Breaking news. Flying Scotsman Productions commented then saying about breaking news about steam train driver loses his legs after cold morning gives him hypothermia. Reviewers said, why didn't he open the firebox door? I thought he was commenting something real and legitimate then. I was like, oh my god, has somebody really lost their legs? He was just messing around with what we were talking about. Pizza is tuna because it tastes wonderful. Tuna pizza. Do you know what? I can't say I've ever tried a tuna pizza. I've seen it on the menu. I've never tried it. But now that you've said it, next time I have pizza, I think I'm going to be on the lookout for one. It's not something I generally think about, actually, is tuna on pizza. But now you've said it, I'm going to have to try it. I tell you what, when I was in college all those years ago, literally years and years ago, there was a local kebab shop not far from the college, and they used to sell banana pizza. And it was literally just a normal pizza with chopped up bananas on it. Never tried it, never had the guts to try it because all my friends at the time were making fun of it. And I never had the guts to just say, do you know what, I want to try it. But I wish I had now, and that kebab shop is long gone, but the spirit remains. Maybe I'll try it one day. Okay, handbrake is wound on fully. And hopefully we will stop because there is a bagel right in front of us. Stop! Had to minor dump the brakes off there. Welcome to Santa's Grotto, everybody. Stop at Glanlyn Flag Halt. There we go, chaps. That is part 1 of Santa's special trains. For some reason I can't open the doors. But the loading thing, there we are. It did work. And I think it's going to take us back to the main menu now. Yeah, because we've completed it. Oh yes. Signal passed at danger twice because of the way the signals work in the game, I think. So don't worry, if you do see that in your thing, you haven't done anything wrong. I think it's just the way that the route has been built. Banana pizza washed down with sausage wine. Fantastic. So this is the second part of the Santa specials. Flying Scotsman Productions says he is pro pepperoni pizza. I rarely have anything else on my pizzas. Try it. You should try it. Welcome back, driver. While the passengers were in Santa's Grotto, the snow has started to come down quite heavily. Wait here for a moment while the passengers get back on board before returning with the journey up the Dolphin Bank. And press Ctrl and 8 to cycle your headboard through to the Christmas face. Ah! There we go, so we can put the Christmas face on. Aha! Da 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 da. And it is snowing. Everyone is on board right away. What do you mean right away? I haven't built my fire. Oh dear. We're not ready to go. Come on, Holy War, it's up to you now. Get the train home. We'll turn the blower on because I haven't had time to get the fire ready. Let's just check we got the handbrake off. And it would help if it was in forwards gear. No wonder we weren't moving. Nobody saw that. Right, shut the fire door now. So now we're driving Holy War, dragging Alice back to Llangower. So we got the infamous Dolphin Bank on a snowy day. Heavy train full of children who've just been to Santa's Grotto, probably very excited with their little presents. Remember to shift B for the whistle. Shift B. Oh yeah, this is the one with the shift B whistle. And if we look at the front of Holy War, she's got 2 whistles, so there's the standard whistle, and then the B whistle, and then shift B, which is the chime whistle. In the words of Clarkson, quick, make millions of coal go in there. Wonder if we're going to find it wheel slipping on the hill. TJOC9891 says, good evening all. Hello, good evening. So I'm going to shut the blower off now because we are blowing. And we're just about to hit the gradient, so it's a good thing we got steam. I'm just going to inject a little bit of water into the boiler just before we hit the gradient. So I think this is the first time we're going up the gradient now on the live stream. There we go, we're just hitting it now. Almost. Oh, not quite. Maybe not just yet. Climb, little Hunslet, climb! So for those of you who are watching, I have been thinking about, I would like to make a new series of, train sim series. And I have been thinking about doing something narrow gauge for a long time. I've had plans for it. But the honest thing was, like, a lot of the narrow gauge locos that we have in Train Sim are not particularly great in terms of quality, whereas now we're finally starting with these Quarry Hunslets. We're starting to see there's a lot more variety and a lot better choice of narrow gauge engines. Oh, we are having to work hard. Come on, Holy War, you can do it. We're on the gradient now, chaps. That is thrash. Yeah, so now that we have a lot more selection of logos, like especially these little Quarry Hunslets, I would like to make a new series, but I don't know which railway it would be based on, but just with a bunch of narrow gauge engines, and essentially it's not going to be anything too serious. Reese Peter says finish over the hills. It's because I'm coming to that. Basically, because so many things have changed with my video editing software, and I want to get back into it because I haven't made anything for a long time. So really, I feel like I want to make something just to get back into the swing of making videos again, because it has been quite a long time since I've done anything. And in a way, years ago, I don't know if you remember Bill and Ted. Essentially, that was why I made Bill and Ted, was to try out all of the editing software, to get experience with editing, writing scripts, and then basically just preparing myself for what I wanted to do. And essentially, that's probably going to be the same sort of thing. There we go, we've made it up Golfer Bank. I'm going to start injecting again. Hellfire, my lords. Have I been to Llangower to see the real Bill? No, and that is one that I would like to see. Because I have seen Ted, which is 9629, before when he was at Llangower. Yeah, Reese Peter says, right, the Scarlowy Railway. Well, there is the Talyllyn Railway stuff for Train Sim, but yeah, the quality is a bit meh. Polska Boy says, do what you like, the projects in your past were good. This time could be something nice until you make Over the Hills. Honestly, it's like, I know I keep saying the same thing over and over again. I am gonna make it. I really am. It's just, you know, now that the laptop is up and running again, I'm sort of back in business a bit. So I'm trying to set aside more time for Over the Hills and AWP projects in general. But I got to get back into the swing of it. So that's why I was kind of feeling, even if I just make it like a bit like what I was doing with Trains Without Context, just random videos, just get back into the spirit of editing videos, making videos. The thing I'm finding really hard again is getting in game and actually recording videos of, you know, watching the trains go and using my Xbox controller to record them, because, you know, quite often you can spend a couple of hours filming, setting up scenes and then filming, only to finish recording and realise like you've left your microphone on, so you've been coughing all the way through the filming process and you've just recorded it and you can't delete it because the microphone is recording into the footage, that sort of thing. Insane Edwards saying, oh wait, I'm just doing one and need to get Blender models into game. If someone could make new Talyllyn, I would love that. Definitely a route we do need an updated version of, I think. Panniers of Dix was an underrated series. I would like to do some more Panniers of Dix, if I'm honest. It was just fun to make. There we go, chaps. We've made it back to Llangower. In the snow. Are you interested in being a tester for the new Teleflyn Railway route? Yeah, I am. Get in touch and I'll happily do some testing when it's ready. Or when it's ready for being tested anyway. So that is the end of the second part of the... what do you call it? Good job. Santa Specials. And I think that's pretty much going to call it now for the end of the live stream. We've almost done 2 hours. I'm feeling pretty knackered, if I'm honest. I'm glad I started earlier. Because normally I start these live streams at 8 PM and then by like 9:30 I'm absolutely knackered. So it's 9 o'clock now. I think we'll probably call it a day for tonight. Anyway, I really hope you guys enjoyed the live stream tonight. It's been good to, get back into it, make sure things are working again. I've got some work to do on my streaming setup. I don't know why YouTube's telling me I'm going to skip them. YouTube's telling me it's going to run adverts, but considering I'm literally about to end the live stream, there's no point running those. Yeah. I hope you've enjoyed the live stream. Rate, comment, like, subscribe and all that. Sign up to our Discord. Join in the fun. And hopefully I'll see you again real soon. Hopefully it's not going to be too long. I'm still on the sick, so maybe there'll be another live stream on Friday next week. We'll see. I'm not sure what we'll do yet, but I've got another week off because while I was on holiday I went and broke my big toe and now I can't work for a couple of weeks because I got to rest my toe. So I've got next week off, so hopefully another live stream, but I'll get in touch with you guys on the socials about that. Thanks very much, guys. See you again real soon.